Hey everyone, Ben here with part 2 of my overview of Vinegar Syndrome's January titles. In the first video, I took a quick look at the subscription package for January and the titles that you receive as a subscriber. All of those titles are available separately, of course, through Vinegar Syndrome, but wanted to look at what you get if you're a subscriber. I also picked up some other titles along with the subscription package, and this video takes a look at, firstly, the new VSA, and then some partner titles from the ever-expanding roster of partner labels that Vinegar Syndrome is now working with and distributing. So, first up is the VSA title, the new VSA title, first for this year. And VSA is Vinegar Syndrome's super limited run titles from the 80s and 90s. They've been doing a lot of 90s action stuff recently. They did Tiger Claws and Martial Law, the Cynthia Rothrock movies. They've been doing a bunch of kind of sleazy 80s and 90s action, Champagne and Bullets, and Savage Harbor. I have back here some other titles as well. This is Fortress of Amerikka that they're releasing this month. Troma title from the late 80s, from 89. And I never saw this as part of that run of kind of peak Troma period, that mid to late 80s. Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High, Surf Nazis Must Die, Troma War. I mean, there's a ton of those movies which I do remember from that area. This was not one I saw. And yeah, Vinegar Syndrome putting it out. I know very little about this movie. It has a terrible rating on Letterboxd. I can't remember what its average is. It's very low. Just says here, one of the gorier action films to be produced during Troma's golden age. Eric Luzils, he was the director of Class of Nukem High 3, Fortress of Amerikka, offers up a non-stop barrage of brutality, beheadings, impaling, stabbings, and a copious amount of sex and nudity. A long-time casualty of dark and muddy VHS tapes, some containing the heavily censored R-rated version. Vinegar Syndrome Archive is proud to give Fortress of Amerikka the Blu-ray release it deserves, newly restored from its original 35mm negative. You also get an interview with the writer-director, an interview with actor Troy Froman, an interview with the actor Brad Roth. As with the case with this stuff, there's a poster inside the box. I'll show it to you, actually. Yep, there's a big fold-out poster here. Reversal artwork. You get the VSA slipcase. I'm not a huge fan of these slipcases because they tend to jack up the plastic on the front. But anyway, I'll put that back later. So we'll see. I'll report back on that one. I'm going to try and watch it this week. I'm very hot and cold on this era of Troma. Those movies are always treated notoriously poorly on video and DVD and Blu-ray. Always look pretty terrible. So at least this is going to look good. As I said, I'm not a big fan of the Troma blending of kind of schlock and comedy. It never quite works for me. It feels a little bit like it's trying too hard, I think. But hey, we shall see. Into then some of the partner releases for this month. And as I said, the partner release side of Vinegar Syndrome, where they're opening their doors to their distribution, to their scanning facilities, their distribution facilities, and really allowing new labels to come on board. And there's a bunch of new ones joined over the holiday period for this year. This is the first title from a new label called, the label is called Canadian International Pictures. And you might be able to guess from that, but they're going to specialize in distributing titles from Canada, which is great because I think there's a whole sea of titles from Canada, particularly from the Canexploitation kind of era, where a lot of stuff was being made over the border. A title I think of, which even in its Blu-ray from Code Red is pretty poorly treated, is Rituals, which is a Hal Holbrook starring Deliverance ripoff. Amazing movie. Still doesn't look great. Would love these guys to get hold of this. Their first title is this, The Ernie Game, a title I'd not heard of. It's sort of been compared to a lot of the sort of Hollywood New Era stuff, Midnight Cowboy, that kind of thing. I think it's set in the folk music scene in Canada in the mid to late 60s. The second feature from Celebrated Canadian filmmaker Don Owen, The Ernie Game is a penetrating, unsettling character study and an inexplicably overlooked triumph of the New Hollywood era, predating like-minded studies of loner desperation from Midnight Cowboy to Taxi Driver, in a 60s milieu comparable to Inside Llewyn Davis, complete with a musical performance by budding folky Leonard Cohen. The Ernie Game has a distinctly Canadian vitality and desolation. I'm a huge Leonard Cohen fan. That was actually the big selling point for me, and I love movies set inside kind of burgeoning music scenes. So I don't know very much about it. Comes in this really nice slipcase. Alternative artwork inside. I presume that's original postal artwork, and this is new artwork on the outside. You get a ton of really interesting extras, actually. Some short films, High Steel, Ladies and Gentlemen, Mr. Leonard Cohen, which is a 45-minute film. Notes for a film about Donna and Gail. A further glimpse of Joey and Cosmic Zoom. Those are all short films, all as bonuses on here. Presumably all from the same director. So yeah, really excited about this. Looking forward to seeing what Canadian International Pictures does next. Next up, back into the 80s and horror comedy. This is from Culture Shock releasing. This is Girlfriend from Hell. Horror comedy from 89, starring Dana Ashbrook from Twin Peaks, Bobby from Twin Peaks, I think. Alternate artwork inside here. I really like this new artwork on the slipcase, actually. I think they've done a really good job with it. It's a blind date from hell when awkward Maggie gets possessed by the devil. In human form, she is free to feast on the souls of any men who cross her path, as long as she doesn't get caught by womanizer and interdimensional bounty hunter Chaser. That's Dana Ashbrook from Twin Peaks. Featuring Leslie Dean from Freddy's Dead as Maggie's best friend. Again, stacked disc in terms of extras. You get a feature-length commentary with the director, Daniel Peterson, an interview with the producer about Alberto Lenzi, interviews with a ton of the cast, and an interview with the creator of Girlfriend from Hell, the musical. Girlfriend from Hell music video featuring set photographs, still gallery, cast audition footage from the original VHS tape, a remastered original trailer from Girlfriend from Hell, and a bunch of other trailers as well. Next up, another brand new label, Deaf Crocodile, as in the crocodile is deaf. This is The Unknown Man of Shandigor. Again, a title I'd heard nothing about. I had heard comparison to Goddard's Alphaville. It's a 60s Cold War thriller with kind of sci-fi tinges, I think. Again, not seen it. Sounds really interesting. It says here, Swiss director Jean-Louis Roy's long-lost mid-60s Cold War super spy thriller is a marvelous and surreal hall of mirrors, part Dr. Strangelove, part Alphaville, with sly nods to British TV shows like The Avengers and Doctor Who. The film stars a who's who of great 60s character actors, starting with the unforgettable Daniel Emilfork, who's in City of Lost Children, as crazed scientist Herbert von Kratz, who's invented a device to sterilize all nuclear weapons. A mad herd of rival spies are desperate to get their hands on the device, including legendary French singer Serge Gainsbourg as the leader of a sect of bald, turtleneck-wearing assassins, and Jess Franco veteran Howard Vernon from the awful Dr. Orloff. Gainsbourg's deranged jazz lounge song Bye Bye Mr. Spy, performed by him on a funeral parlor organ no less, is arguably the film's high point. An accomplished spy is at the same time psychologist, artist, funambulist, conjurer, to quote one of the characters, and the same could be said of Roy's exotic camera obscura of black and white Cold War paranoia. It sounds very much on my street. A lot of the things that are being referenced there in that description sound really amazing. So we shall dive into that. Again, slipcase, alternate artwork underneath, and new 4K restoration. I think the guys who run Deaf Crocodile are actually film restorers doing work on other titles as well. So I'm excited to see what they do next. I think they're working on some other really interesting stuff, including a Bay Area, Oakland black crime movie, and I can't remember the title, but they posted a little clip of the restoration work they're doing, and it looked amazing. New 4K restoration from the original 35 neg. New commentary by film journalist Sam Deegan. New booklet essay by filmmaker, punk musician, and poet and genre expert Chris D. From the Flesh Eaters. New interview with Francois Roy, wife of director Jean-Louis Roy, and Michael Schopfer, first assistant director. Ultra-rare 1967 making of documentary from Swiss TV. Sounds very interesting, and the original trailer as well. So I'm really excited to try this one out. Again, starting to get very broad now, Vinegar Syndrome, in terms of the partner label stuff. Between this and the Ernie Game, the Canadian movie, these are not things that traditionally, they're not in the exploitation or horror genre as such, but they fit under this big umbrella of lost, restored cult cinema, which is what we're all here for, right? Finally, a title which I am really excited about and is probably the best film, certainly the best film I've seen on this list, and admittedly I've not seen many of these movies yet, but Lynn Ramsey's Morvern Callar, which is being put out by Fun City Editions this month. Fun City Editions already, having only existed for, I think, just over a year, maybe 2 years, are doing incredible work. They put out Michael Ritchie's Smile, which I think is one of the great lost movies of the 1970s. Alphabet City, amazing early 80s crime movie from New York. Walking the Edge, which is just a fantastic Robert Forster crime film. Everything they've put out so far. Some amazing British movies, Radio On being one of them, and I Start Counting. Just everything they're putting out right now is interesting in one way or another. Lynn Ramsey, if you don't know, is one of the UK's best filmmakers right now. If you've seen We Need to Talk About Kevin, or Ratcatcher, her debut, I mean, just incredible stuff. Ratcatcher you can get on Criterion, I think, and I don't think there's a good Blu-ray of We Need to Talk About Kevin either, so maybe Fun City can pick that up next. I don't think this has been available on Blu, certainly not in the US or the UK. And yeah, it's an amazing movie. I'll read you the plot very briefly if you don't know. When Morvern Callar wakes up on Christmas morning to discover her boyfriend dead by suicide, it's the start of an unpredictable and unconventional process of self-transformation. She passes off his just-finished novel as her own to publishers, and she goes on holiday to Spain. Equal parts road movie and character study, Morvern Callar is as gripping and beautiful as it is dark and inscrutable. It really is an amazing movie with one of the greatest soundtracks of recent years. It's got Can, Velvet Underground, Aphex Twin, Stereolab. There's a ton of amazing stuff on the soundtrack. I think I had the soundtrack on CD back in the day, but so glad this is getting a release. It's its 20th anniversary, or it's about to hit its 20th anniversary. 2002. Newly restored, scanned from its 35mm into positive. Audio commentary with Alexandra Helen Nicholas, who's just always fantastic on these types of things, and Josh Nelson. A new video essay called Somewhere Beautiful from Chris O'Neill. There's a nice booklet inside. Again, slipcase, the original artwork, which I remember from the original release inside. I would say if you're thinking about picking up anything, this is just a no-brainer. It's one of the best British movies of the last couple of decades, so definitely worth picking that up. Well, that's it for everything I picked up this month. There's a ton of stuff there. I'm going to report back on things as I watch them. I'll give a little roundup on what I think of this stuff towards the end of the week as I get through some of this. Until then, hope you'll subscribe below, like the video, share it. That would be great. See you next time. Thanks, bye.